Tame Impala just disappointed all of his fans with his new album. If you guys haven't heard, Tame Impala dropped a new record titled Deadbeat, which I'm not going to explain what the genre of the music is just yet, because that is a key factor why a lot of people are misjudging this album. But let's give a little context. It's been 5 years since he dropped his prior record. The Slow Rush was more of a psychedelic pop dance music, style of music album. And a lot of people were fond of it. It kind of grew on them, and then when the pandemic stuff happened, which happened around the same time, his popularity grew with TikTok. Let It Happen became a billion stream song. A lot of people were checking out New Person, Same Old Mistakes, all these different styles of songs from him. And people were like, wow, did you guys know Tame Impala is just one guy? It's not a band, because the name Tame Impala sounds more of like a band. But that's besides the point. Like, even when he performs live, he performs with a band that is part of a different group, which is Pond, which is another Australian psychedelic kind of pop band. And they're actually pretty good, so go check them out too. But regardless of the fact, people just were first getting introduced to Tame Impala ever since his last record. His mainstream popularity grew ever since then. So people were kind of just being introduced to the psychedelic rock, garage band, indie style music that he was making for the past 10 to 15 years, I would say, and maybe even longer than that, because Lonerism and Inner Speaker came out like early 2010s, late 2000s. So people just were not familiar with the timeline of Tame Impala, right? And then comes this new album titled Deadbeat, and people are saying, this feels underwhelming, this feels lackluster, this feels anorexic compared to the previous projects that had such lush, juicy, filled with every sound, every second was filled with something, and it felt like there was a lot of detail put into this, compared to this new record that just didn't have any of that. It felt stripped back. It felt like all the things that made Tame Impala good to these new fan base of his just wasn't apparent on the record. They were like, where are the crazy synths? Where is the guitar? Where is the Hofner bass? Where's all the really cool vocal effects, sound effects? Well, hate to break it to you guys, but this is what we call progressing as an artist. What we call is evolving, changing your style, trying new things. A lot of people think that their artists should stay in this one bubble. Well, I don't call those types of artists, I call them businessmen. And he even goes to explain in his new interview with Zane Lowe that if you guys wanted me to be more business orientated, if that's what you guys assumed, I would have just kept making current